can we just talk about how to incorporate pleasure into cooking? Because I need this. Like, I need a pleasure incentive in order to want to cook anything. So specifically, like for summer, how can we make dinner, feel more pleasurable in the summer, you know, than like just a task we have to do?
I really enjoy being in a different environment. I don't want to be in the same environment. So I like to eat outside, like almost every night. I want to make sure I have my twinkle lights. I want my outside table.
I'm sorry, drinking wine while you cook isn't sorry.
That's a given.
And I know we're trying to be more sensible about our alcohol consumption, so I don't mean to like corrupt all of us, but that's one of the things I like to do.
That's literally one of the only ways dinner gets made in my house.
You want to eat? You bring me the wine.
Welcome to Drinks with the Girls. Conversations for women over 40 around connection, change, and the power of female friendship. Living well with stories to tell. I'm Karen, and this is Lisa.
We are moms and solopreneurs stepping into our own, diving into real conversations about things that matter to women in midlife.
We're here to spill the tea on everything that affects women in their 40s and beyond. Topics like loss and grief, changing relationships, launching kids, menopause, and reinventing ourselves in midlife. We are here to tackle it all.
Connect with us through a blend of our lived experiences, our friendship, the memory of our moms, plus a collection of real stories, honest conversations, and engaging interviews that will make women over 40 feel seen and remind them that they're not alone on this journey called life. Let's go.
Welcome back to Drinks with the Girls. We are so excited for this encore presentation. But before we get into it, we need to talk about what we are drinking. I am Karen, one of your co-hosts, and today I am drinking lemon lime Olipop.
Oh
Lisa,
my gosh, we officially have half the same brain because look what I'm drinking.
Ooh,
cherry vanilla Olipop. Olipop, hit us up.
I guess I should have jumped on that bandwagon.
Good to sponsor.
I have not purchased Olipop.
We forgot to send a memo.
I'm drinking a vodka tonic.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Today, we are so happy to have back the Queen of Culinary. I just made that up. It should be the Queen of Culinary something. But anyway, Lisa Potter, and we are talking about Dinner Without the Drama Summer Edition.
Yes. Instead of part 2, we decided we were going to call it the Summer Edition because y'all liked her so much. We're going to have her back for an ongoing series because it's that cool. Okay.
So, Lisa, let everybody know who you are, what you do, and we'll get into it.
Well, I'm Lisa Potter, and I really love cooking. I've always been in my family. It's kind of my blood. My whole family likes to cook. So we also, my son and I have a catering business on the side. So we do small parties, dinner parties, weddings. We just did a wedding reception for 125 people the weekend before last. And it was outdoor kind of summer cooking because there was no kitchen. So we had to do everything outside and without any water or anything.
I've been hearing about this for months. And I'm just sitting there popping the popcorn, like listening to all this going, yeah, I can never pull this off, but you go, girl. Like, yeah. So we thought we'd talk about summer and cooking and dinner because it's hot as HE double hockey sticks outside here. It hit 100 here, which is crazy for us.
Wow.
95 here.
Yeah. It's super hot. We're not built for that kind of heat.
No.
So what to do? Because who wants a hot oven in the summer, which heats up your house even more? So we thought we'd ask Lisa a little bit about how things shift in the summer and how we can shift in the summer. So I know you've done it all, right? So like, what's your vibe for summer dinners? Like, are you just like on the grill the whole time? Like, tell us kind of how you roll and then we can get into it.
If I can be on the grill, I'm very happy. I love to grill. So that's probably my go-to. And how I determine what I want to grill or not, I love to go to farmers markets or little local places. We also have something called locavore here. Just anything, if you go into the grocery store, you'll notice that the seasonal veg is all, usually on sale. So kind of try to work with those seasons. And it's always fun to just go looking through the meat department, going through looking at the produce and coming up with something. It's kind of like a blank palette for me.
That is so stressful for me, right? Like I
was just thinking. I know.
I was sweating.
Sorry. Same thing. I was like, no, it doesn't sound easy. It sounds like a stressful experience.
I am so envious, Lisa Potter. I wish I could do that. Like I need more structure.
I mean, the plan. Yeah, the farmer's market piece I'm down with. Like that's that I totally can feel like a stroll through. But like my afternoon yesterday consisted of my husband shouting from the garage while he went through our freezer and our fridge to inventory all the meat we have and all the veg we have, because I just got freaking tired of like winging it every day. So we have like a list for the meat and a list for the veg, and then I can just pop it in my plan to eat or Google it and be like, I have a spare tire, some chuck steak, and asparagus. Like, what can I make out of it?
Yes, absolutely. I love doing that. I like doing that too. But if you're gonna go to like the farmer's market or something, you might see, well, there's a lot of peppers right now in season. So I might buy a lot of peppers. I might say, okay, what goes with peppers? And here's some fresh corn. Here's some, I've got a couple of cans of beans at home, maybe some black beans. And then I'm going to go grab some chicken breast and I'm going to make a salad. And so just grill off the chicken and cut that up, put it on top. And I like to go with a deconstructed style. I just kind of make little piles of different things so it's all bright and colorful. And then just, but if you're going to go with something like a Southwest chicken salad, I'd probably use seasonings that match that, like some cumin, some oregano, that type of thing. So that's kind of how I go about it. What do I see that I want to use? And then kind of create from there. So just really, I like to see a veg and a protein and think about what kind of flavors you want to be inspired by. Like maybe I want an Asian inspired dinner, or maybe I want a Thai inspired dinner, or, something like that.
Can I drop my super easy go-to summer, year-round pepper recipe that I freaking love?
Oh my God, I was just going to ask about peppers.
See, because we have one brain at this point.
What the hell is happening?
I know. So you just sip your sippy cup, girl. I'm right there. So yeah, Italian sausage and peppers. Easiest, best thing freaking ever. It's literally 3 ingredients and it makes a delicious sauce and everything. It's Italian sausage, it's peppers, red onions. You literally chop the red onions up. You can put a little garlic in, but you don't necessarily need it. And you chop the onions up, throw the onions in, like get them going a little bit, throw the peppers in. I usually grill the meat first. So like I probably said that in the wrong order. I'll probably like just quickly sear off the sausages a little bit, then do the onions and the peppers, and then I put a lid on it once it's got a good sear. And oh my God, it's freaking delicious. You can serve it with some crusty bread if you eat bread, or a salad, and it's the easiest one-pot meal ever, and it's freaking delicious.
Besides throwing peppers in a salad or putting some olive oil and salt and pepper on them and putting them on the grill, what's another like summer recipe for that we can use peppers for? Because they're so beautiful. And I love going, I'll see them. Oh, I'll grab an orange one. I'll grab a red one. And then they sit in my fridge and they get soft and squishy and I end up giving them to the chickens. So, and you think of something offhand that's a good summer pepper recipe that we can use?
I was thinking about what you can do, especially before they get all squishy too in the fridge, because if I buy like 6 at a time sometimes, and I'm putting some in salad. Yes, we have some to dip or whatever, but I also love to roast them. So if I'm making any other dinner, it doesn't matter. The other half of the barbecue, I could have some veg that's going to expire soon if I don't cook it. And so peppers are a great way to just throw them on the grill. Just, you don't have to do anything to them. And they just kind of get black. And then you sort of just rotate it, throw it in a bowl, put some plastic wrap on it. and then just let it sit there on the counter for a while. You guys can have dinner or whatever. And then later come back and peel off that black stuff, and you'll have this beautiful roasted pepper that you can just put in another jar for another time, top with a little olive oil or something. You could use that in so many ways. You could blend some of it with your immersion blender and put it in your pasta sauce. You could, I've even blended it up and used it on flatbread pizzas, like those pre-made bobolies and stuff, and then you can use that as a sauce. There's kind of different ways to do that, but yeah, you can roast any kind of pepper. You could even add some spicier ones if you wanted to add some heat. Chili verde is another good one. I like to roast a bunch of peppers, throw it in the Instant Pot with some pork and onions and garlic, and cook it for like 45 minutes, and there you go.
We like to do fajitas too. That's another one. You just you just like grill it up, chicken or your shrimp or your beef or whatever, and slice it, tortillas, get a little salsa or guacamole, and done.
Oh yeah, love that.
Awesome. Thank you. So how about your habits? How do those change, like from the fall to the winter to the summer?
I like to have light, easy, bright meals. I don't like to have that heavy, hot, like, soup and casseroles and, all of that kinda stuff, and using the oven a lot. I like to have light, bright things. So, if you think about eating the rainbow, which we've all, I think, heard now, just kinda think about how can I incorporate all those different colors and brightness into my meal? And you don't always have to cook it. Sometimes it's gonna be nice, crunchy, fresh. And then don't forget to mix some of your fruits with your veg. So sometimes, you can have salads. Maybe you have a nice bunch of spinach at the farmer's market, but then you also have an apple that you could julienne on top of that, throw in some maybe cranberries and have a poppy seed dressing and maybe pepitas on top, something like that, just to have that change up, not just green salad all the time, but add some other fruits and nuts to it.
Okay, I have a question. Last time you were on here, there were so many great resources, but one of the things you talked about was like essential stuff for your pantry. And that was it was cold. I think we did that episode back in February. So it's summer. What are you going to add to that pantry to keep on hand during summer so you can just whip out some quick meals?
Yeah, the well-stocked pantry is so important. I like to make sure, again, I have those spices at the ready to have whatever inspired dish flavor, those flavor bombs, I call it. But also make sure that you have some different kinds of vinegars. Like I like champagne vinegar or sherry vinegar, definitely balsamic, but you can change it up and add a lot of, there's so many different kinds, you can explore it. And then I also use different mustards so that I can whip out a vinaigrette really quickly, or I might use it as a marinade. So I might just whip out and the ratio is a 3-to-1. So if you have 3 parts oil to 1 part acid, it could be vinegar, it could be orange juice, lime juice. You could do something along those lines, some kind of acid. And then I like to add mustard and then some probably garlic and other spices that would go with your inspiration. Those are definitely ones I would go to.
I heard you mention pepitas too. I feel like I in my pantry in the summertime, I keep stuff that I could throw a salad together with, because if I grill chicken or whatever, salads in the summer are so easy. They're kind of like my go-to treasure soup kind of thing. But I like the idea of pepitas, keeping some crunchy stuff, or maybe slivered almonds and the cranberries and things like that you can just throw stuff together. I like that idea.
I try to do that too because we have a salad with every meal. Yeah, because I'm like the vegetable drill sergeant in our house, trying to get myself and Tony to eat some vegetables.
But
it's you can only have so many salads of the same type of salad, right? So I love that idea of just throwing different. I always have sunflower seeds or pepitas but just to try to make it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, and they give you some good protein and some nice crunch, and it's not bread like croutons.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know if this is just me, but why does dinner often feel like a pressure cooker for women? Am I alone? Is it just me?
No. I've had to ask that question so many times. And
this is the therapy portion of the episode, just so you know.
Yeah. I was
Cooking
like, I
therapy.
don't know. I don't know. What do you want? Or what do you feel like? Or
Yep.
I guess I'll look in the freezer, something like that. But after a long conversation, I've had a few conversations with my husband, and I kind of thought about he's changed my perspective a little bit because we had this, and even my youngest, who's still home, we were talking about that. Why is it so hard to decide for dinner? Nobody wants to take it on. And the boys said to me, it's just something I want to look forward to at the end of my day because my day could be really, really garbage. I mean, it can be stressful and all this stuff, but I know that I can look forward to that when I get home. And so that was a different perspective for me to see, okay, that makes sense. I still shouldn't have to do it all, but I get what
Hello.
you're saying.
Feels like a setup to me.
I'd like to look forward to a good meal too.
Yeah.
We have that in common.
Hey there, I'm Lisa Corachella McDowell, your midlife Pacific Northwest princess, here to guide you in the art of next leveling your life. I'm passionate about women's health and wellness in midlife, especially for moms parenting kids with unique needs like I do. I truly believe we can learn, grow, advocate, and care for the planet while taking care of ourselves and our families, and I'd love to help you do the same. Plus, I'm beyond excited to announce the launch of my new membership, the Empowered Parent Collective, this March. It's a space for parents to confidently advocate for their kids, build inclusive communities, educate themselves, and find balance and support along the way. To find out more about the Empowered Parent Collective, my classes, wellness offerings, parenting tips, advocacy resources, and exclusive Drinks with the Girls goodies, head to nextlevellifewithlisa.com. Let's survive and thrive in the messy middle together. Cheers.
We divided up. We have 2, 2, and 2. So he has to pick 2 meals. I pick 2, and my
Nice.
son picks 2, and when we're eating out.
Love it. Period.
That's
End of
perfect.
story.
That's it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I was so proud of myself. So when my kids, my adult kids, by the way, who are perfectly capable of cooking, when they come to visit, usually like once a month each, usually I do a charcuterie thing when they get here on the day they get here. And then, we'll eat out once probably. And then, but I'm always like stressed about, okay, well, what are we going to have for dinner? What am I going to make? I got to get up there. My daughter came with her boyfriend this last weekend, and I said, Tony and I are on this eating regimen. You guys have to bring your own snacks and drinks. Sorry, you're on your own.
Dang.
I know. Who is she? And the freedom, I mean, and you know what? Guess what? They said, okay. Like,
shocker. Look at you setting those boundaries. Mic drop.
I mean, it can be done.
And no one died.
No one died. Yeah. Everybody ate. It was fine.
Yeah, I have to. I ask my daughter to bring snacks for her kids a lot of times. Just they really like very specific things, and I don't always have those things, and so it does take that weight off, or having to figure out what they're going to eat or shop for those specific things or whatever. And so she's always been really good about just bringing over, whatever the kids are going to eat.
I also think that summertime is also a big time for flexibility. Like in the winter, you have like the slow cooker or the Instapot. Ain't nobody want to like slow cook something when it's 100 degrees outside. That is just not happening, right? So the effort method in our house happens a lot. Like we kind of will grill steaks on a Friday night usually, and last Friday was a little crazy, and I just turned to my husband and I was like, F it, we're having charcuterie tonight, right? And so, like, I feel like if you have a few backups like that, so you're not always like, I mean, don't get me wrong, ordering pizza is definitely an option, but, there's only so many times you can order pizza. I feel like having a couple of those on hand, ideas like that you can just be like, pivot.
That's the hard thing about only having 2 people in the house and not having any kids. Because every night could be a fuck it night in my house.
I sense some shame around that idea. You tell us more about that.
No shame, just anger.
Just blistering red hot poker of anger.
I mean, it's just like what we talked about on the first episode. I resent that it has to fall to me. And like Lisa, when your family said, your husband and your sons, I think it was said that, we just want to come home to. on one hand, you're like, oh,
And the other
you know,
hand,
the
you're like,
mom
ah.
the part of us that loves taking care of our people, we respond to that, right? And we're like, oh. And then, yeah, on the other hand, I'm like, okay, no, I would like somebody to make me a nice dinner so I could come home and put my feet up and just eat it.
How is
Wouldn't
it
that be
Monday
nice,
night and I'm
so
making a bechamel sauce from scratch and lasagna? Like, how did this handbasket happen and how did I get in it?
oh, man.
Oh, no. You
But
know
yeah.
what? Sometimes we just have a clean out the fridge dinner. I said, all right, we're just cleaning out the fridge. What veg do we have? What can we just toss together? All right, we have some zucchini. I got one zucchini here. I got half of a pepper from a salad the other day, and I got this and that. So we just start cutting stuff up. And I say, okay, what do we want out of this? Do you want beef, chicken, or pork? Pretty
Yeah.
much is
These
what
are
we've
your
got, right?
options.
so then we just sort of, all right, we're picking chicken. All right. Do you want it with soy sauce? Kind of, we can use that kind of flavors, or do we want, whatever. So we just cut it all up, throw it all together. It's a one pan. We cleaned out the fridge and it was fast and easy.
That's really nice. One of the things that we've started doing, so, I mean, Lisa knows picky eaters, and she talked a little bit about this in the last episode. So my daughter's food preferences are like pathological, like crazy, like narrow. I mean, it's like every 2 weeks she's like, oh, I'm not eating that anymore. And it's just a nightmare. And we stopped like cooking for her because it's just so hard to deal with. But then that doesn't really help her. And her blood sugar gets really triggered. So we've just been racking our brain to come up with an idea. And she actually came up with one. I was pretty proud of her. She texted me from the bus. I think it was a week before last. I was like, Mom, there's nothing in the house that I want to eat. Are you okay if I go to the store and get some things that I want to eat? And I said, yes, if there's a fruit and the vegetable in there. Your budget is $50. It's got to last for at least 4 or 5 days. And you text me when you have everything in the cart and tell me how much it is. And it's been working magically well. I mean, and sometimes it's like, well, I got a veg and it was a small bag of baby carrots and I ate it on the way home. So, I mean, we have a little further to go, but that combination of her being in control, me setting like boundaries in terms of, look, you have to have healthy kind of stuff there. Like last time she came back with a bag of popsicles. I'm like, yeah, no, that is a no food group that needs to be in your grocery cart. But she's eating more regularly. Her blood sugar is regulated. And so life isn't miserable for us around dinner time. So I feel like sometimes like these rigid, like, okay, we all have to sit down and eat dinner at the same time and, leave it to Beaver and blah, blah, blah. Like, in my situation, that makes it really difficult. So I feel like a lot of times, like Karen said, like we need to just cut ourselves a break. Like why do we feel like it needs to be this hardcore production like every single time? And sometimes it's nice to do that, Thanksgiving. But yeah, I feel like we make all these rules up in our heads about what it needs to be, and then we take it on, and it's bad.
Well, I think our kids need to be involved too with the prep and the choices. I think that's huge. So when we do pick our days or whatever for dinner during the week, and then they get to pick what they want. And so that's a good way to do it. But also that's another reason I love the grill, because it doesn't have to all be the same protein. It doesn't have to be all the same.
Yep.
Maybe we have make your own skewers, and everybody puts what they want on their own skewers, their kebabs. And so they have their things. We cook it all at once, and everybody gets what they want. And it's just, you don't have any pans to wash. It's great.
I love that.
I mean, I'm just thinking about what you said. Why do we make it such a big deal? And why is there so much, that's like wrapped into all of this? And
Dinner
angst. Why? It's the capital P patriarchy.
Oh, here we go again. Anything to blame the patriarchy.
I mean, it's kind of true. So I'm thinking about my own experience, and that's just what always happens is the women are the ones that are responsible for feeding the people, right? And I think, and in my family also, like my mom, not so much my paternal grandmother, but my step grandmother, she was Italian, and Sunday night dinners, the spaghetti and meatballs every Sunday night, like she loved it, and that was a laborious meal to make. And so so it's like on one hand, there's this part of us that, like I said earlier, we love taking care of our people. Like we love that. That's how we show our love and our care. But then on the other hand, it's like, yeah, it always falls to us because it's always been a woman's role, a female's role to do that. And I think, I love Lisa Potter, what you were saying, we need to involve the kids because that's how we break kind of those, constructs is by doing it differently. And I think, yeah, our kids growing up will hopefully feel less, the women will hopefully feel less chained to that task. It's like, I don't know. I tell my daughter, it's like, find a dude who cooks. Anyway,
Yeah,
okay,
no,
I'm done. Next.
no, I think it's good. I think not only involving the kids, but the whole family is important, and for those reasons. And I have to say, I don't always do the cooking at night. Sometimes it is my husband. There are times where I just said, you know what, I just don't feel like it tonight. And he was like, okay, I got this. And so he'll come up with something, and
I
it's
love it.
usually really good. It's great.
He's like the pinch
Um,
hitter. He's like, okay, I'm ready. Put me in.
yeah. So I think also it's important for us to ask too when we don't feel like it, and just say, I don't feel like it tonight. Can you make dinner?
Yeah.
And
Yep, the
Yeah.
stories we
and
tell
give us
ourselves about why that won't work.
and give yourself that, give ourselves that permission that it's okay, and asking for help. And I think the kids should be super involved too, for another reason, is because they need to know how to do this. One day they're going to
Absolutely.
be on their own, so
Yes.
they need to be equipped to be able to make nutritious meals for themselves, and it's just good practice. So if you can get the whole family involved, I think it will carry over to other areas.
Yeah. And I think you make such a good point. It's like you just have to ask. You just have to say it. Like I told my kids, "Hey, you have to bring your own stuff." Or like when I, started having the conversations with Tony, "Hey, I don't like always being the default cooking, person to cook." And he's like, "Oh, okay."
The
So
default
it's just
kitchen wench.
exactly.
Because then I turn
No,
into a
none of that.
wench. All right, let's go back to our happy place at the farmer's market where we're shopping and things are lovely. So, one of the things in summer that can be a bit challenging is it's great because you have all this fresh stuff, but a lot of times you get a lot of one thing, right? So, like if you have a garden, I mean, I feel like it's feast or famine with zucchini. Like I'm hoping to have a zucchini year. Last year I got like nothing and I had good tomatoes. Or you go to the farmer's market and they have a bunch of X on sale. So, tell us about some of your favorite ways to make sure that you use up all that goodness, maybe not like right away, but preserve it in some way that isn't like using like a 20-gallon Amish canner and like 60 women out there like putting it all together, which is not going to happen.
And it always happens in the heat, right? It's always
Mhm.
you have to can in the summer.
I am making
No.
strawberry jam right now, and I burnt $70 worth of fresh strawberries last night in the jam. Why, you say? Because I was multitasking and not paying attention. Yeah, I was pretty upset at myself. So
I'm not gonna do cooked jam in the summer. I'm just not. I like the freezer jam. I stir it with a bunch of sugar and put in the pectin, and it's just done. I I don't have to cook it. I don't have to watch it, and I have my son stir it for 3 minutes.
I like that forced labor.
Yeah.
Child labor.
Okay, so maybe we
Right,
should
but
do.
Why do we not okay, sorry, this is coming from a non-canner. Why do we not always do the freezer method? Like, if it's easier and faster and simpler, is that I don't know.
I don't know. Some people like it. I mean, they like that different flavor.
Okay, but back to my
Nice.
question about the overabundance. So give us your favorites and
Okay.
how we can make the most of that.
So I'm gonna start with the berries, and I'm gonna go from there. So what I've done is, well, you can freeze some of the berries if you use a sheet pan and put it on parchment, and individually, then it goes in the Ziploc good for the year. But and then you mentioned the jam, but also a lot of us shop at Costco, and I recently jumped on the air fryer bandwagon, But many of these air fryers are dehydrators. I don't know if everyone knows that.
That's crazy.
So I thought, oh, well, then I could slice up my strawberries or my apples or whatever that's starting to go, any kind of fruit, and I can layer those things right into my air fryer, and it doesn't take that long. So that's an idea.
I like that.
I was doing the charcuterie board for the wedding, and it ended up being
Okay, quick pause. Have we talked about the Pod Squad lately?
Oh, the Pod Squad. You mean our email list /VIP lounge /digital wine club?
Exactly. So listeners, if you're not on it yet, you're basically making life harder for yourself when it comes to podcasts.
Like trying to scroll for show notes while speed walking on a treadmill. Wait, what was that link again? Oh, no. Grab the side rails.
Or pulling up that book we mentioned while you're in the Starbucks line and then realizing everybody else moved up 3 cars and now you're that woman.
We've all been there. That's why we made the Pod Squad. You'll get new episode alerts every week with direct links. Easy to listen, easy to share.
And show notes straight to your inbox. So when we drop a life-changing product, book, hot tip, or yummy new drink, you're not rummaging through your memory like a woman searching for her reading glasses when they're on top of her head.
It's organized, it's helpful, it's for you, babes.
So join the Pod Squad. The link is in the show notes. Just tap it.
Snacks, sarcasm, solidarity.
And obviously, fighting the patriarchy.
We write at dawn.
more meat and cheese being eaten than fruit. So I had about 5 pounds of grapes that I needed to get rid of. So I decided that I'd put that in the dehydrator. And so I made golden raisins. And those are very expensive if you don't do it yourself. So those are just a couple ideas. And then the peppers we kind of talked about. I really love to roast the peppers, the tomatoes. I roast tomatoes too. And I'll just put that into my next spaghetti sauce. So if you roast them, you can freeze them. And a lot of people don't know, but if you get a lot of onions, like maybe you have a lot of Walla Walla sweets or one of those sweet onions that are only around again for like a month, like much like strawberries, you can actually chop and freeze them straight up.
Yep. And peppers too. Peppers freeze. If you do that, I'll chop a bunch and put it in my freezer.
Yeah. Mushrooms also, you can saute those and freeze them. So that's a good way.
Oh.
I've had a big box of mushrooms left over from an event. And so I dehydrated some of them and then I sauteed the others and then just froze it. So I can add it in later in the fall with soups or whatnot or sauces. And I really like the dehydrated ones too because it adds so much flavor.
Yeah.
Those are big
soups
umami
and stuff
flavors.
like that. So back up for a second. With the mushrooms in the pan and sauteing them, do you just like put like a cup in the bag or like how do you, I'm just picturing them coming out like a giant block and like how I would use it.
So I put them in like sandwich bags.
Okay.
So then just like, yeah, maybe half a cup to a cup. And then I can use it and maybe I need a couple bags, but at least I have a smaller amount that I can really just put some in or I can do a couple for a lot in. It just depends what you're using them for. But those are definitely good ways. And yeah, and right, it's morel season. We're kind of wrapping that up here. And so those are fun to dehydrate or to saute. So those are just those. Oh, I want to talk about herbs because herbs right now are really big. They're starting to go. Some of my herbs are starting to bloom a little bit. And what you want to do is clip those before they're full bloom because that's kind of like going to seed. So the best flavor is right before that. If you clip them, you can just stick them on a plate on your counter and let them just sit there and dry. And then put them in your herb jar.
And I made stuff out of the flowers too. Like I've got like this crazy sage bush. I've decided that it's the universe telling me I need to sage for something huge that's going to happen. Just rip it out and like sage the neighborhood. I'm like, oh God, what's coming, right? But I've cut off the flowers on like chives and sage and some other stuff and put it in salads and stuff. And actually, it's really good. Or the other one that's kind of fun is garlic scapes or onion scapes. You can chop them up, and that's kind of a cool thing to do. They call them garlic whistles in some places, so those have a nice like light flavor, and I like that too.
I love those. Great idea.
I know. Okay, I have another question. Marinating. So my only thing with the grill is like sometimes I'm like, okay, if I put a chicken breast on the grill, it's We used to like mercilessly tease my mom because she would grill chicken breasts, and we used to call it charo chicken because like breasts have no fat. So if you throw them on the grill, it's just like, ugh, But then the other thing is if you don't have any time, it's like, it's hard to get like a decent marinade going. So do you have any fail-safe marinade recipes for the grill or stuff that like, oh crap, I got to get dinner on in half an hour. I don't have time to like sit in a refrigerator with citrus for 24 hours.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, plain yogurt, plain Greek yogurt specifically, is an amazing way to tenderize chicken and some other things, even fish, if you really wanted to add that zingy, tangy flavor. But yeah, just rubbing the whole chicken in this yogurt and then adding some herbs and spices, salt and pepper, and that'll be marinated in no time. It's
Okay.
probably 20, 30 minutes tops.
That is a great hack. I like that.
Yeah. It's really underused, I think. That a lot of people don't really realize that there is a lot of acid in Greek yogurt. So, and it needs to be plain yogurt.
Okay, let's stay on the chicken train because one of the things I like to do in the summer is buy the pre-cooked rotisserie chicken.
I'm a fan.
But then it's like I do the same things with it. And then, like I don't like to make enchiladas in the summer. So what are some things that we can do with the pre-cooked chickens that would be an easy meal in the summertime?
Yeah, I like to make a lot of different salads with that chicken. Again, that well-stocked pantry is going to allow you to have a lot of different flavor bombs, whatever kind of inspired dishes you like. But I also mentioned the deconstructed salads because they look so pretty. But yeah,
okay, I feel stupid. What do you mean by deconstructed salads?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just was like, wait, I don't understand what she's saying. I should ask.
So instead of having a nice, bunch of greens and we toss it all together and then we kind of layer some carrots and some cucumbers and things on top and sort of toss it with the dressing or just maybe have it kind of like, a traditional salad mixed up. This would be something separate. Like if I chopped up each item and then I have like almost like a soup bowl, and then you could do a pile of the chopped cucumber, a pile of the red pepper, maybe a pile of beans, and then a pile of your chicken. Maybe it's black beans and maybe it's corn, and you've got a nice Southwest salad there. But they're all kind of separate piles in the dish. And then you can create a dressing that you'd want to go with it. So maybe something that had cumin and oregano and maybe vinegar, some type of maybe a white wine vinegar and olive oil, and call it good.
So is the idea that it's like a salad charcuterie board and everybody just like takes bits and stuff? And sorry, I know I'm being really difficult, but I'm trying to wrap my head around this.
I'm glad. Right. I do it an individual bowl for each person. So that would be like
God.
serving.
Okay. So in other words,
have
like
a little pile.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So you're not.
And so everybody can have their own customized salad too. Like
I
if somebody
get it.
doesn't want beans or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're lucky enough to even get like sashimi, that's really fun to have.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay, I am on the train. Okay, so sorry, I squirreled, but I was confused. So you were saying something, and I didn't know what the hell we were talking about, to be honest.
We were talking about things to do with the rotisserie chicken.
Thank you, that.
Yeah, no, and then there's pasta salad. That's always good. There's all kinds of, I don't know, it kind of goes back to your theme of what kind of flavors you want to incorporate because really chicken can be seasoned any way you want. And so whatever flavors you're wanting it to take on, it's going to take on. So you kind of have to think about what do we want to eat? What kind of style of food do we want tonight? And then season that chicken and then add some other like-minded. Like I was mentioning that the sashimi, like maybe tuna, and we have some edamame and we have cucumbers and we have, so you're thinking about those lines almost like a sushi roll if you love that and you make it into a bowl. You don't have to roll anything. You don't have to, do a lot of prep. You're just kind of getting those ingredients there and then serve it out. But there's no work of like rolling anything up if you're thinking along those lines, or putting them in enchilada rolls all nice and neat in the pan and doing you just put all those flavors together in that bowl and here you go. And maybe some people in your family they don't like everything, but they like some of it, and so that could also be a way to get the family in and everybody's doing their own bowl and putting in what they like and taking some of that burden off of the cooking the meal.
Okay, let's keep the chicken train going to really beat a metaphor up. Okay, I know one of the things that you talk about is spatchcocking chickens, right? And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's basically a squished chicken, right? It's like flatten the chicken.
Brick chicken?
Yeah, just think of like the chicken crossed the road and didn't make it kind of thing. So I love the idea, but also I'm a little intimidated by I just like saying spatchcocking. It feels slightly dirty. I don't have the foggiest idea of how to spatchcock my own chicken, as it were.
So
Stop, I see you over there.
I take my scissors and I cut the back out. I just cut right down each side. And that's it. And then I...
Okay, wait, hang on. Okay, I'm picturing this. So, breast side down, are you just like, okay, for those of you that don't watch the YouTube video, I'm like making scissor cuts here. So, you basically just cut straight down the spine? Is that what you're saying?
On each side of the spine.
Okay, so more like two cuts, like...
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so you're literally like if it was ribs, you're just cutting each side of the ribs off and then taking that whole piece out. I gotcha. Okay. So, because I'm thinking like, it sounds epic, but you can do two cuts, Karen, with scissors. That's.
Yeah.
She's like, nope, no, I can't.
It's just the whole mental thing. If I have to take its little skeleton out to get it, and obviously because if you're getting it smashed down, if you're getting it flat like that, then you probably need to remove some bones and things, but yeah.
Yeah, you just take that out and then sometimes you can just press it down firmly in the middle, but sometimes you just want to cut, you might have to cut the back of that breastbone a little bit to make it lay flatter. And that way it cooks even and it's easier to handle. You could even cut it in half if you wanted, but if you just want the whole chicken laying flat on that grill, that's the way to do it. And you can cook the bone side down a little bit longer, and that way it's kind of baking in there, right? A little bit in that grill. And then it's just not as long on the other side to get the black char on the skin, which we don't, kids don't like to eat that.
So one of the things...
so you're not removing the whole backbone and all that stuff. You're just making some little cuts so it lays flat. Is that right? Or are we removing bones?
We're removing the back, the spine, the back.
We are.
Yeah.
Darn
we're
it.
removing it.
Okay.
We're not putting your girls in a wheelchair. It's all good. It's fine.
Thank you.
I'll say another thing I like to do is kind of do some flavoring under the skin before I grill it. So it's really nice to add some different flavors, like just a jarred pesto. You could take that and kind of loosen the skin with your fingers and kind of rub underneath between the skin and the meat, and then you rub all that as far as you can. Just work it all under the skin. You could also make a mix of maybe some garlic and some thyme and rosemary, a little olive oil paste, and rub that all inside there. And so that really bastes itself while it's sitting on that bone side down, and all those yumminess are just sitting on top, getting into all of the meat. And then you can even top the skin with a little rub if you want an extra kick. So those are good ways to flavor that chicken more so, because sometimes it can get pretty bland.
So one of the things I miss about living in Southern California is that, and Karen knows this place. It's a chain. It's called El Pollo Loco, and they make this really good spatchcock chicken that's like marinated in citrus and stuff. So we don't have that up here, but a lot of the Mexican markets will do like grills on a Saturday, and they just do a ton of chickens, and we'll pick one up, and it's kind of a nice variation on roasted chicken. But that's another one I like to do, is just the citrus. It takes a while to get it like marinated, but that is so freaking yummy, and you serve it with tortillas and rice and beans, and you're good to go.
Yeah. And I bet it's so flavorful. And it's just, yeah. And all
So
the,
good.
and then the lemons and the limes and that citrus just really get in there and marinate and just get that meat much more moist and tender.
My name is Karen Shatafian, and I am a shameless coffee addict and empowerment coach for women, and my love language is authenticity. My mission is helping women unapologetically design a life they're in love with. Because what the hell are we waiting for? My website, KarenShatafian.com, has all my coaching packages and free offers like my midlife reclamation guide. In it, you'll find tools to help you decide how to create the most inspired and empowered version of yourself and your life. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram talking about ways women can show up for themselves after decades of showing up for everyone else. Join me as we throw off the shackles and live our best freaking lives. See the show notes for all the details. Cheers.
Okay, gadgets, kitchen gadgets. We talked a little last time about some of your go-tos. If y'all haven't listened to the first episode, listen to it because it's gold. Let's do kitchen gadgets, the summer edition.
I use a ton of Ziplocs. I know that's not the best for the planet, but I do. I do use a ton. And I say that because I just have maybe or, I just put a bunch of spices and again, that 3-to-1 ratio of a marinade and I just, maybe it's avocado oil, maybe it's some red wine vinegar, maybe it's some mustard and some spices, and I throw all the meat in there. Sometimes kids like to squish it up. They take a good my grandkids love that. And then put the meat in, seal it up, throw it in the fridge. Then all you have to do is throw it on the grill and throw that away. And you're not having to dump anything down your drain. It's all in that one bag and toss it. Another reason I like the Ziplocs is because I like to pre-make salad instead of buying like a bag of salad pre-mixed or whatever. I get maybe a head of leaf lettuce, a head of iceberg, a head of romaine, and I wash it all up at once. I cut it all up at once and I mix it in a great big bowl, but then I'm stuffing it in 1-gallon zips and I squeeze out all the air. You could even put a little bit of cabbage or shredded carrot in there. And don't put any onion or anything else in there. Just cabbage, carrot, and lettuce, otherwise it'll start to break down. And that'll last. I can do, a bag or two for the whole week and I won't have to redo any of the green salad. So that's why I really like the zips.
How do you get the edges of the lettuce not to turn brown? Is it the air, getting all the air out?
Actually, yeah, part of it, but actually if you cut lettuce with a knife, it oxidizes, so you want to tear it. And that will make it last longer.
That's a hot tip, at least for me, because I just use a knife. So, okay.
Yeah.
What-
There's a trick to iceberg. If you take the core on the counter and you slam it really hard, you can just pull the core out and then just tear the rest. And then I twist like romaine or leaf lettuce.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they make
Got it.
those like plastic knives too that you can cut it with. Don't know. More plastic isn't
Oh.
always good. And I'm trying to remember which is the good brand because there's one brand that got all this bad press about BPA and all sorts of stuff. I can't remember. I think it's Ziploc that's the good one and Hefty is the bad one. I don't know. I'll try to find it in the show notes, but there's definitely one that's better, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I love tongs. I use a lot of tongs. Again, roasting all those veg, roasting the kebabs, flipping steak, flipping the chicken. I mostly just use tongs.
Okay.
And then, of course, the instant read because we all want to be safe when we're eating our meat and make sure that it's at the right proper temp before you pull it off.
I got gifted by my dad a meat fork with a thermometer in it. And that thing is the best. Oh, yeah. Hot tip from
That
Ken.
sounds like a good Father's Day
It is
gift.
so exactly, right? So it's like a giant meat fork and you stick it in and it beeps like, and you can say, oh, I can't remember if you scroll through or what it does, but it'll literally be like beef, chicken, pork, lamb, fish, whatever. And it'll highlight the temperature that it has to be that's safe. Best thing ever.
That's
great for the
amazing.
Will you
grill.
put that in the show notes?
I will
Yeah.
put that in the show notes, girl.
I was just going to ask that.
So can we just talk about how to incorporate pleasure into cooking because I need this. Like I need a pleasure incentive in order to want to cook anything. So specifically like for summer, how can we make dinner, feel more pleasurable in the summer, than like just a task we have to do?
I'm sorry, drinking wine while you cook isn't sorry.
That's a given.
And I know we're trying to be more sensible about our alcohol consumption, so I don't mean to like corrupt all of us, but that's one of the things I like to do.
That's literally one of the only ways dinner gets made in my house.
You want to eat? You bring me the wine.
I really enjoy being in a different environment. I don't want to be in the same environment. So I like to eat outside, like almost every night. I want to make sure I have my twinkle lights. I want my outside table. And
It's a good idea.
so, and I was just talking with you earlier that I was in Walmart and I love the bright, colorful plastic tableware, and I want to get that for my outside. And I have 4 grandkids, and still have a teenager at home, so it's sensible for me when we're outside to have plastic, and then I can wash that. It's definitely reusable, but it's so bright and pretty. And I think it'd be really fun to have the table set with some bright, pretty, fun things in a different environment. And usually we try to incorporate a game once or twice a week. So that's kind of fun.
What are your favorite ways to get kids and lazy adults in the kitchen helping?
Usually it's some kind of snacks. We start with snacks. It could be a charcuterie. It could be just veggies and ranch. But usually if I have food, pretzels, something. If I have food around the counter, because we have a big island and we're in a great room, people kind of gather and everybody starts talking and we're kind of snacking and maybe have a nice beverage, age appropriate. And then, then they start kind of like, oh, do you want me to help? Or, hey, why don't you come stir this for me? We all of a sudden incorporate everybody, and then dinner gets done a lot faster and at least a lot more fun.
Okay. I like that.
I'm actually flashing back to, well, not flashing back, but flashing to things that I do to make it more pleasurable for me. And I always have to have the music playing. Like I put on my 80s playlist. I pour my drink, whether it's, a spiked drink or not. But yeah, having the music going just makes it so much more fun for me.
Yeah, for sure.
My husband's really into that, so he's usually at the maestro.
Nice.
The DJ?
Yeah.
So what's one thing that you're letting go of this summer when it comes to cooking?
I need to pull back on how many things I am going to serve. I want to make things a lot more simple. So my goal is going to be not to have 2 or 3 sides, but rather just a main and maybe one.
I like that.
That's really when I want to just dial it back. I don't need to have that much pressure of all these sides and things.
It gets a little cray-cray.
Yeah.
So before we go to takeaways, we thought we'd do a quick rapid fire round since we're pretty much wrapping this up. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Gas or charcoal?
I have a question first. It's not rapid fire.
So much for rapid fire, right?
Okay, all right. I'd say charcoal.
Okay, why?
Charcoal's my favorite because it has so much more flavor for the meat.
Okay, all right.
But if I'm doing fast, I do have to do gas.
Yeah, or you get one of those little briquette sifter things that like, you know what I'm talking about? What are they called?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a sifter, literally. And it condenses the coals, so they can heat up faster.
Yep, yep.
It's a chimney.
Chimney.
Yeah.
Chimney,
Okay.
Yeah.
Charcoal chimney.
Okay, corn on the cob or watermelon?
Corn on the cob.
Okay, leftovers or hard pass?
Hard pass.
So, signature summer cocktails or mocktails?
Signature summer cocktails.
All righty. Okay.
Yeah, that's a way.
All right. So, listeners, we always like to leave you with some really good takeaways. So, Lisa, what is one thing that you would say to a woman who's feeling completely overwhelmed about the what's for dinner thing in summer?
I would start very small and simple. So instead of thinking about the whole meal, What's one thing that you want to focus on and master before you move on to the next? So if it's like, I'm just gonna focus on the protein. So I'm gonna pick chicken. I'm gonna figure out a good marinade my family likes, or I'm gonna rub it down with plain yogurt and see if that works for us. Then just do that, and maybe buy a bag of salad. Maybe, grocery stores have all these pre-cut and mixed vegetables for whatever meal it seems like you want to match. So just get one of those and just take the guesswork and all the prep out of your meal and just focus on the one thing. And then, as you come through and learn more things and get more confidence, just start adding some more in.
So are easy and nutritious meals mutually exclusive?
That's a good one.
Oh,
Like how can we make an easy meal more nutritious? Because I feel like the fast and the simple is not necessarily the best. Unless we're just chopping up a bunch of things and putting them in a bowl for a salad.
well, I think you can grill some really nice vegetables too. And as long as you have something fresh, I try to make everything that's not altered, if you know what I mean. So I don't like
Yeah.
to get a lot of processed food. Like for that wedding the other day, I took a zucchini and a summer squash. Well, not one because it was for 125 people, but I was mixing it and because I thought, okay, that's yellow, that's green. Okay, so I want some red onion and I want some orange pepper and maybe, so I tried to get all the colors, the rainbow in there as best I could and cutting them somewhat same size. And then you can just put it on a grill pan on your grill. And
Like
if
a
you don't
basket.
have one, yeah, a basket. And then maybe you could skewer it if you don't have one, something like that. And just you don't need to cook it till there's no color left, right? We want to still have some crispness to it. And it still gives you a lot of nutrition. The protein gives you a lot of nutrition. And then if you want to throw a salad on there, then go for it and double up on your veg. But I think that's a great way to do it. And it's summer, everything's fresh and full
Yeah.
of minerals and vitamins for us.
Yeah, I feel like you can get away with a lot more in the summer. That's quick and easy because of the grill, because like salads, like all of that. It's not as stressful as winter where it's like I'm freezing my butt off. It's like dark as midnight out and God, I'm not feeling creative kind of a thing.
Yeah. Mashed potatoes and rolls and crock pots.
The end.
Exactly.
Any other takeaways?
Yeah, just a well-stocked pantry is just a huge deal. If you have, some different things you can push together, there's a lot of different sauces that's where you can get that easy with the bottled jars and sauces from maybe the ethnic aisle. There's so much down there to just toss this and that in to get that flavor profile that you're looking for. That's going to be more of the shortcut than the produce and the meat is.
Well, Lisa, where can people find you if they want to know more about you, or maybe if they want to hire you for a catering situation?
Smoke Ridge Custom Catering. And our website is smokeridgecc.com.
I will pop that in the show notes.
Thank you.
And remind us, what state? Where are you?
I'm in Oregon.
Well, listeners, you know the drill. We would love it if you would share us with a friend that you think might be needing some of this goodness and wisdom. Like, comment, subscribe, all those things. The reason we knew that this was a popular episode was because a lot of y'all downloaded it. So the more downloads we see, we're like, oh, okay, that's a topic that people respond to. But you can also send us an email or a comment or something. Like, we'd love to hear from you what you want to hear so we can give you more of that.
That's right. We appreciate you being here, helping us build this community, and drop us a 5-star review because that would really that would make us smile. And also, since we are on all the socials, which we tell you all the time, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, whatnot, drop us a DM. Get in our DMs, just slide on in there and let us know what you're loving, what we could do better, if you have any suggestions, ideas for the show, because we would love to have a conversation with you.
Even the other thing that would be fun is if y'all are grilling this summer, take a picture and tag us. Tag Lisa, tag us. I would love that.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.